interesting. To go there, you had to get the permission of the Japanese government.
Yes, it was given back to the Japanese government in the 60s, and it is now under the jurisdiction of Governor Ishihara, who is the governor. They call it the equivalent of a mayor of Tokyo, and it's under their prefecture. So even though it's 700 miles away.
Was it hard to get permission? Or
no, they were. He was very cooperative. It's interesting because I didn't know what his response would be. Of course, they didn't know quite what we were going to do yet, and I had this illusion in my mind that I could re-invade the island, sort of, and do it for motion pictures. But they feel
we don't care how great you are.
Yeah, they got sort of a blank stare there. I was going to go, but anyway, that's what I had in mind. And when I got over there, I realized that was going to be difficult, and because they lost 21,000 men in that battle, and they didn't they think of it as a memorial because it's still 10,000-12,000 unaccounted for. So, but he is a filmmaker himself. He's written some scripts and he's directed a few films, and so he was very curious and very fascinated by the idea. So he made it fine for us to go out there, and then later on, when we came back and shot some footage there for both pictures, they arranged that.
There is no sense, if you went to the first one, you're not going to enjoy it, and the story's presented in a different way, different actors, obviously.
Just a different perspective.
And it's a different perspective. How is it different?
Having it based on George Plimpton's book, which was, as Doug has put it so well, a way of accounting and recounting the story the same way Truman has done, with how he's talked about everyone. I mean, his whole life became about talking about everyone else and the gossiping. And here, George Plimpton took the various people in Truman's life and his surroundings and had them recount the story as they remember it. So you have everyone's perception of what they thought went on, and that's why I think there's even so much more room for 6 more films like this, because everyone has a different take on what they feel happened with Truman during this time and what subsequently happened afterwards.
Did you talk to Harper Lee?
No, nor would I ever have attempted contact.
She wants no conversation with anybody about
I don't know if
that
she
part of her
doesn't
life.
want conversation, but the woman has made such a concerted effort to stay away from, I think, what I represent if I went up as an actress.
Right.
You know, it's none of my business, but I was able to get enough information and had family members who are from Alabama who live very close, just in terms of accent and nuances and things like that. But I have enough, a large amount of respect for her, enough not to have treaded over that.
Tell me about you and architecture.
I don't know what it is. Well, I do. I know a little bit what it is. I've always jonesed on it. I've always been a bit of a junkie for it, and it's one of the few art forms that you can be inside, that you can experience it by being smaller than it. And I have a strict belief that if architecture has the ability to lift your soul, that we are susceptible to our surroundings. I think a prison cell would be the opposite, and that there are these people now who are leading us to the future.
All these magazines talk about the most powerful people in entertainment. Number 1 here, this is Entertainment Weekly.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks, actor, producer, everyman, age 46. No scandalous secret here. No stash of blackmail photos, no childhood pact with Satan. Just a simple fact that you trust this man completely. And then it goes on and on and on.
On and on, yeah.
Do you exercise this power? Do you think about this power? Does it mean something to you?
It can't get me out of press junkets, Charlie. So I don't know how powerful it is. Actually, part of it is, of course, you know, a great list. Everybody needs to fill up a magazine with a list sooner or later. But by and large, I think it's all a myth. I think if there's any power, I think if the most powerful place you can be in, I think, in any industry, but particularly in show business, is the power of not having to do the work you don't want to do.
Exactly.
I'm lucky enough to be at that position.
The power to choose, too.
Well, I actually think it's much more of the power to say no as it is the power to say yes. Because quite frankly, I cannot get anything made that I want to get made. You know, they say, oh, you can make the phone book if you want to. I got news for you. Too big a cast. They're not, even no studio is going to go for that. But there is a power, or I should put in the term of a luxury of being able to say no. Here's a thing that I really would not rather do, or I don't think it's for me, or despite all the great, wonderful things you're waving at me, I don't get it. So saying no to something is actually much more powerful than saying yes.